About positioning, foot strengthening, and kind of positioning and weight bearing lower body exercises. So while there's some variation between where the knees go, where the body goes when we squat, when we lunge, if you go extreme one way, which most people are going to go extreme into valgus or that knee in movement, there's some things we want to make sure of. So especially doing some training in barefoot, which I highly recommend just to help kind of strengthen the proprioception and the intrinsic muscles of the feet. We're going to look at a couple things with that. So if we're going to squat, again, foot position can vary, toe out, whatever's kind of comfortable with you. But there's a couple things we want to. So we want to kind of avoid that foot rolling in or going flat. So we're just going to kind of feel like we grab the ground. So you're kind of crunching the ground here. Just kind of engage in that. And then we're going to feel like those knees kind of screw out. So we're kind of grabbing the ground, screwing into the ground as we go into the motion. So we're going to keep that feel as we squat down and come up. Okay? So what we're trying to avoid or limit is foot going flat, knees coming in. So to actively kind of do that, any weight bearing exercise we're going to do, we're going to kind of engage those feet, turn the knees out, screw out. So we're kind of getting all this engaged a little bit. And then we can, again, drop into the movement. Okay, so single leg, if we're going to do, let's say, a lunge or a split squat, same thing. So we're trying to avoid this. Again, we're going to engage that foot, screw or turn that knee out, drop down. So engage, turn that knee out, drop down. Okay, we're going to do, let's say, a deadlift or a hinge movement. Same thing. We're not going to obviously go into much knee flexion with this, but we're still going to kind of engage, screw those knees out, sit back into our hinge or our deadlift. Okay, so keeping those things in mind when we're doing any lower body stuff, any weight bearing stuff, any single leg stuff. If we're going to go into a single leg RDL, it's going to be a little more challenging, but we're going to set, screw that knee out, really fight to grab that ground and control that knee. So we're really trying to control this motion, not moving extremes in and out. Some variability is okay depending on what works for you. Just trying to limit that, especially in those that maybe have too much valgus or too much of those knees diving in. If you need some feedback, you can take a band around the knees just to kind of feel what that feels like to go out. I don't usually recommend going heavy with that, but if you just want to do, let's say, your warm-up sets, put a band around the knees, pull out, and kind of just get warmed up. And then when you go into your heavier sets, kind of take the band away and just try to recreate that position. Same thing, you can have a band around the outside of the knee going this way, just to give you some feedback in that single leg stuff as well. So give that a try. Again, working on, just engaging the feet, screwing those knees out. Same thing if we're going to get in our setup here. Doing some swinging barefoot is not always a bad idea. So just feeling it, engaging, and then kind of go. So now, again, let that all release as we go, but just to kind of get a stable position here. Okay, so play around with that, work on that, let me know how it works.